Hello and welcome back to Premier League Predictions, the show which does what it says on the tin. We're here for game week 34 of the 23-24 Premier League campaign. We're getting so close now to the end of the season. The title race is going to the wire. The relegation battle is in full flux. We are at a pinch point in the Premier League campaign. And Harry, some very crucial predictions this week.
Yeah, I mean, an absolute cracking game week, a double game week for most sides. Lots and lots of games to get through. Lots of games that are going to have pretty big connotations on the rest of this season. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Indeed, we've got a load of games, 13 matches in total, yet somehow Tottenham don't play at all. So brilliant scheduling of this double game week. So let's get right into it. We'll start on the Saturday then. The first game, the 3 o'clock kickoff. The first of only two Saturday 3 o'clock kickoffs, which is a little bit weird. And that is Luton Town versus Brentford. This is a huge game for the relegation fight. Luton find themselves in a position where if they were to win this game, they could climb outside of the relegation zone. That would be a huge 3 points. It would bring them 2 points off Brentford, I believe. It would leave them, if Everton and Nottingham Forest were to be a draw, then they could end up climbing 2 positions if there's a huge goal difference swing. But basically, 3 points for Luton here could keep them in the Premier League. As for Brentford, if they were to win, if the away side could actually win at Kenilworth Road, which is quite difficult, a lot of sides have struggled to do that this season, then they would put themselves pretty much safe of relegation. So Harry, how do you see it panning out?
Yeah, it's going to be a good game. As you say, Brentford, they know 3 points, they're safe. That's, well, basically. For Luton, though, I think this Kenilworth Road, audience, crowd is something different, something not many teams, even Man City couldn't handle for the first 45 minutes. So I think it is going to be a Luton Town win and a huge win for the Hatters. 2-0. I mean, huge win in terms of the league, not massive 2 goals. But I will go for a Colton Morris goal in the first half, and then the second half, I'll go for a Reece Burke header from a corner.
Yeah, fair enough. I like it. I like it. Luton Town's only fit centre-half, or at least last week. I don't know if they've got any more coming back this week. I am going to say Luton Town 2, Brentford 1. I still feel that Luton Town's defence is a bit too makeshift to keep a clean sheet, so I think Brentford will score, and it'll probably be for Ivan Toney. And then I'll back Luton Town goals from Carlton Morris and... You know what? He scored so many own goals. I'm going Hashioka. He's got to stick one in the right net for once, and he'll get that here, and it'll be a 2-1 win for Luton Town. Up next, and again in the relegation fight, though both these sides are a little further off getting out of the drop zone, it's Sheffield United versus Burnley. Sheffield United rooted to the bottom of the table as it stands, and well, their season's been fairly abysmal, fairly bleak, but this would be a chance to get a victory, claim 3 points over the side just above them. Can they do it? Well, we'll have to see. As for Burnley, well, there's still a glimmer of hope, a slim chance that they avoid the drop. It doesn't seem very likely, though. This would be a chance to put 3 points, get themselves 3 points closer, put themselves in some sort of fighting chance, and they're a little bit clear of Sheffield United. So how do you see the game going?
Yeah, I mean, we looked at this one when the fixtures came out as a relegation 6-pointer, but the position both sides are in, I don't think it's going to have much of an effect. And to be honest, I actually think it's going to shine a light on how bad Burnley have been this season. Sheffield United 1, Burnley 0. And then suddenly we're going to be looking at it and going, hang on a minute. Sheffield United could finish 19th here. And then suddenly Burnley, I mean, you're finishing below the worst team in Premier League history. What are you doing?
Yeah, other than Derby statistically. But
I will go for a 1-0 Sheffield United win, and it'll be an Ollie McBurney goal in the last 5 minutes.
I think you're bold to predict a goal. I'm going to go Sheffield, because while these sides are both in poor defensively, I think they've also been blunt in attack. So I'll say Sheffield United 0. Burnley 0. Wow. A fairly boring prediction. I could see this going the other way and being like a 2-2 or something, a bit of a classic, because these two sides see out the season in style. But I think this is going to be a boring 0-0 draw. Up next, and it's the 7:30 kickoff time of Wolves versus Arsenal. Wolves have been... I was looking back through my expectations for this season, my pre-season predictions. I had Wolves in the drop zone. They have far exceeded those expectations under Gary O'Neill this season. There's a lot of confusion at the start of the season when they sat their manager like a week beforehand, but O'Neill's come in, he's steadied the ship, he's worked wonders, and they're now in a position where they welcome Arsenal here to the Molineux, and they do have a chance of claiming something from that game, which would be quite big just to put them up in that 10th sort of position. They're in that gaggle of teams like Fulham and Bournemouth who aren't getting Europe anytime soon, but are nowhere near relegation. So they've had a good season. They're more than happy to sit there. As for Arsenal, well, they have to get back to winning ways. A huge drop of points last time out now leaves them 2 points behind Manchester City. They can't afford to drop anymore. If not, they may as well hand City the title now. So, can Arsenal claim a win, Harry, or will Wolves upset them?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting game, but realistically, Arsenal need the win. They need to keep pressure on Manchester City, and I think they will do that. Wolves have been okay, but they won't have enough to stop the Gunners here. 3 goals to the Arsenal away from home. It will be a goal from Saka, a goal from Trossard, and then a third goal from... let's go with Zinchenko. He's got a bit of stick from Arsenal fans in the last couple of weeks. He's going to score.
Yeah, I'll be intrigued to see what happens. I think Zinchenko might start against Bayern Munich. We'll see. He came off the bench and that seemed to stay the ship a little bit last week. But yeah, as I say, we are recording before that game between Arsenal and Bayern. I am going to say an Arsenal win, though. I think they will get back to winning ways. I will go for 4-0 Arsenal. I think Wolves have been very good, but Arsenal will be keen to get back to winning ways because they were embarrassed against Aston Villa. Villa with a better side in that second half. Arsenal barely had a shot. So, yeah, I'll say 4-0. I'll go for a Reece Nelson goal, a Bukayo Saka goal, a Kai Havertz goal, and a... Is Takehiro Tomiyasu fit?
Yeah, I think
all right, I'll back him to score as well then. 4-0. I think he may well get rotated in if Ben White is potentially rested here. So I will back a 4-0 win for Arsenal. On to the Sunday then, and the first of which is the huge relegation 6-pointer. The 1:30 kickoff, Everton versus Nottingham Forest. Everton at the moment are 2 points above the relegation zone, and they are currently protesting their 2-point deduction they received a few weeks ago, so that would put them 4 points above. However, if they were to lose this game and Luton Town lose, they would drop into the drop zone. That cannot happen for Everton. They can't do that, so they must win this game. As for Nottingham Forest, though, it's the same situation. If they lose and Luton win, they find themselves in the drop zone. If they both draw and Luton Town win, they'll both drop behind Luton Town, or Everton will be joint on points with them. So this could get very tight, depending on how this result goes and how the Luton game goes. Harry, how do you see this panning out?
Yeah, for me, this only goes one way. Everton were disappointing. They were, at disarray against Chelsea on Monday night. Absolutely torn apart. Big 6-0 loss. You can't handle that. And Nottingham Forest will smell blood. Heading away to Goodison Park, I think it is going to be a very, very loud cacophony of boos at full time towards Sean Dyche and Everton with a 2-0 loss. So Forest going to come out victors in this game. And I will go for a Hudson-Odoi goal and a Ryan Yates goal to really put the nail in the coffin of Everton and cause a lot of problems.
Ryan Yates, is he get 2-foot the ball and it just flies in?
Yeah. Halfway, Pickford's come out again like I did last time against Chelsea.
Smashes it. Yeah, I am going to go 1-1.
Ooh.
And I think, obviously, I predicted Luton to win, so that'll be very tasty at the bottom there. I think it'll be a Beto goal because if he just readjusts his body a little bit against Chelsea, he might have scored a goal. And then I will say Nottingham Forest will come through Chris Wood because he's quietly had quite a decent season.
Big game player.
Yeah, I'll back him to score. And next season in the Championship, he will crush it for Nottingham Forest. That's a little prediction for early prediction for you. On to the 3:00 kickoffs, which is a bit weird for a Sunday, but they've rearranged from the 3:00 slot on the Saturday due to European competition. Don't know why they're not at 2:00, but 3:00 on a Sunday, a weird kickoff time. First of which, Aston Villa versus Bournemouth. As I said earlier, we'll start with the visitors here because, as I said earlier, Bournemouth in that weird gaggle of clubs who aren't really competing for anything, but aren't really at risk of dropping down anywhere. So they're just sort of seeing out the season. Solanke's trying to get goals for Golden Boot. They're playing some good football, but ultimately they're not really striving for anything. Yeah. Aston Villa, on the other hand, playing for his place in the Champions League. There is a little bit of risk that 5th place won't be Champions League, so they have to keep winning games. If not, they might find themselves in the Europa League. Isn't the worst thing in the world, but that Champions League money would transform what Villa are able to do in this summer window. So a huge match. Every game now to the end of the season is huge for Aston Villa, and they've got to keep the good times going. With Tottenham not playing this game week, a Villa win would be all the more crucial. And Aston Villa playing really well at the moment, played really well against Arsenal last weekend. Can they keep the good times rolling?
Yeah, I think it's been a really good game of football. Both sides are playing some really nice stuff and a really good run of form, but as you say, I think Villa, that extra incentive to push for the Champions League, to really make that 4th spot theirs, and I think they will come out winners here by 1-0 to 0, and it will be a goal from Ollie Watkins with about 20 minutes to go. But I'm expecting a pretty competitive and even game. Bournemouth will give them a really, really good show, but that Villa Park crowd giving Aston Villa enough to get it across the line.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm predicting a first half European hangover. They get a little bit too excited after beating or knocking out Lille. I guess they might not, though. Then they might be a European depression.
Yeah.
But I think it will be 2-1 in the end. Bournemouth 1-0 up at half time through Dom Solanke. Then Aston Villa will have goals from John McGinn and John Duran. Because I thought his goal against City was very well taken. And yeah, the double John effect. Look, some changes at half time maybe. I think Duran might start if Watkins and co start against Lille. Maybe they rotate it. So yeah, I could see Aston Villa having a bit of a rotated side here. Up next, Crystal Palace versus West Ham. Similarly, West Ham contending with European action in the week. What impact could that have? Those Thursday night games do tend to leave teams a little bit tired, potentially a bit of rotation there. As for Crystal Palace, well, they'll have no game in between their win over Liverpool and this one, where their positive attitude and their belief spurred them to victory away at Anfield. Can they keep that up again? Can we see players like Eze, Mateta, and potentially Elise if he's back, flourish in those attacking areas and crush West Ham? Or will West Ham's never die strategy of just giving it their all and hoping Jarrod Bowen does something, will that pay off? What do you think?
Yeah, Palace are playing superbly at the moment. This whole positive vibes and really good energy around the club is great to see. And West Ham are crap, let's be honest. They are terrible. And we're recording before the Leverkusen game, but I'm pretty sure they probably got their arse torn.
The massacre.
Yeah, it's going to be ridiculous. So, to be honest, I think Palace are going to show how bad West Ham are. I will go 4-0 to the Seagulls. Wow. Really, cement that David Moyes teams can't play football, and Palace are looking superb at the moment. I will go for an Eze double, a goal for Adam Wharton, first goal in red and blue.
Fair enough.
And then a fourth goal is going to come through an own goal from Vladimir Soufal.
Fair enough. I like it. I'm not going to be quite as harsh on West Ham because I don't think they're that bad, but I do think Crystal Palace will win this game. West Ham may well rotate. If not, the players will be tired from a difficult Thursday night tie. I think they will probably be out. If they're through, then maybe they'll take momentum and steamroll Palace here, but I think they'll probably be out, and by quite an embarrassing margin. So I will say here Crystal Palace 2-0. And I think it will be an Eze goal, and it will be a Jean-Philippe Mateta goal, and that will give Crystal Palace a 2-0 win. Up next, and the 4:30 kickoff, Fulham versus Liverpool. Fulham have been up and down this season. At times, Rodrigo Muniz looks like Kylian Mbappe, and at others, Fulham can't score a goal. So very much up and down. As for Liverpool, well, they've been mainly up, but last week was a big down as they were landed a crushing blow to their title hopes as Crystal Palace beat them 1-0. They'll be hoping to get back to winning ways with a minimum of fuss here against Fulham. Can they do that, Harry?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, but Fulham always give Liverpool a game for some reason. These two sides are always competitive, and it's always a cracking game of football. However, I think that might change this time. I do think Fulham will score, but I'll go Fulham 1, Liverpool 3. Bit more easy for the away side. Fulham will take the lead through Rodrigo Muniz because I think he's going to turn up for
all the time, doesn't it?
Game. And then Liverpool's 3 goals will all come in the second half, and they'll come through Mohamed Salah, Darwin Núñez, and Alexis McAllister.
Yeah, fair enough. I am going to say 2-0 Liverpool. And I think Fulham usually do give them a fight, but Liverpool are going to have that fire in their bellies this week. So I'll say 2-0 Liverpool, and I will go a Darwin Núñez brace. I think that Leno will clear one. It will hit Darwin Núñez in his man bun and spin into the goal. Then the other one will be a corner that's get flicked on, and it's sort of he's running back. He was on the goal line, so he's starting to get back. He's trying to get back in the box, and it comes over and hits him off the back and goes in. Nice little a brace there from Núñez in the most Núñez fashion possible.
Like it.
On to the Tuesday night then, and it's another game for Arsenal. As we say, some teams with a double here, some teams with one game, some teams like Tottenham with absolutely none. But Arsenal do have 2 here as they welcome Chelsea to the Emirates. We'll be live for it on Tuesday night, so join us from 7:45. It should be a very good game. Hopefully Chelsea can give Arsenal as good a fight as they did the first time these two met this season, and hopefully we'll track to a good game. Chelsea do tend to turn up against the big 6, so should be a good one, Harry.
Yeah, definitely so. Chelsea were incredible on Monday night against Everton, and Arsenal weren't as against Villa, so I don't think this is going to be simple for Arsenal at all.
Yeah, but obviously Chelsea will have played an FA Cup semi-final between them. They may well take momentum from a big victory, or they might lose 8-0. So it could really go two ways. I've also only just realised that's why they've moved the Wolves-Arsenal game, I imagine, to be a slightly later kick-off time. But there we go. Tuesday, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Let's get into Wednesday then and back to predicting games. The first of which, Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Bournemouth. This game's could be quite interesting, actually. Two sides with nothing to play for, so they can both really attack the game. Wolves have played some really good attacking football this season. Matthias Cunha's back now. Hwang came off the bench last time, so he may be fit to start here. There's a positive sign to Wolves there. As for Bournemouth, well, they'll be keeping status quo. It may well have been on the receiving end of a difficult result against Aston Villa, but equally, Wolves might have been on the receiving end of a difficult result against Arsenal. So it goes both ways. How do you see this game panning out? Could it be an absolute barnstormer?
Yeah, these are the weird ones, because obviously we haven't seen the results that would have happened at the weekend before, and we've already spoke so much about these two sides, so I think it will be a good game, though. I will go Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Bournemouth 2. Just going to nick at the cherries, and I will go goals from... It'll be Wolves will take the lead through Hwang Hee-chan, but it'll be Bournemouth goals from Dominic Solanke and Lewis Cook.
Fair enough.
That will get the win.
Fair enough. I am going to say Wolves 3, Bournemouth 3. A classic sort of Wednesday night game. That it's a slightly earlier kickoff time, so people might miss that first 15 minutes. Not a lot will happen. And I think it'll be quite a quiet opening 15. And so people will turn up at 8 and go, well, that game's been boring. I'm just going to watch one of these three. I don't know if all the games are on TV, but it's presumably one of Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Everton, Liverpool, and Man United, Sheffield United will be probably that one, but for no reason. But I think, Wolves will provide a good game. I think it'll be 3-3. I will say a Mario Lemina goal, provided he's fit and not suspended. He might get a red card against Arsenal. I will then say a Matthias Cunha goal and a Rayane Nuri goal if he is fit to play. And then for Bournemouth, I will say Dom Solanke. And while I'm tempted to go for another from Dom Solanke, I will back a... No, Lerma's left, hasn't he? I was about to say Jefferson Lerma. He's gone to Crystal Palace. I will go for Lloyd Kelly. Because I fancy a bit of a differential goal there. Lloyd Kelly will likely start left back. Up next, Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Palace played very well against Liverpool. We've already spoken about that already. Newcastle last time out. How did Newcastle get on? It was quite a good win, wasn't it? Gordon Isak linking up well in that game against Tottenham. Tottenham weren't great in that match, but Newcastle, well, they battered them. Absolutely battered them.
Yes.
So, Newcastle, can they keep the good times rolling and beat Crystal Palace? Or will Crystal Palace keep their good times going? What do you think, Harry?
Yeah, no, for some reason I thought that Tottenham beat Newcastle 4-0. They didn't they? Yeah, no, Newcastle really good. Palace... As we said, positive vibes, positive energy. This is going to be a fun game. 1-1 draw for me.
Fun.
So fun. Third part, I think cracker. Eze will get the Palace goal for them. He has looked ridiculously good in the last few weeks under Ollie Glasner. It's like you don't play creative players under Roy Hodgson. They play better. What a surprise.
Insane stuff.
Newcastle, though, will level the game up and will take a point from this tie. And it'll be a goal through Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, I've got that Wednesday night fever. I'm going to go Crystal Palace 2, Newcastle 2. It's hotting up in here. Wolves 3, Bournemouth 3. Now Crystal Palace 2, Newcastle 2. I will say an Eze goal, a Mateta goal for Crystal Palace. So those two having great game weeks in my books. And then Newcastle will have an early Isak penalty and then a late Lewis Miley leveller. Not really been involved much in the first team recently, but I think he may well get the nod here. Come off the bench and score a equaliser. Up next, Merseyside derby time as Everton welcome Liverpool to Goodison Park. Liverpool in desperate need of some points. Everton in desperate need of some points. How do you see this panning out, Harry?
Yeah, as I've said, I think Everton will probably lose to Nottingham Forest on the Sunday, and they're really playing some really poor football at the moment, and I think this will be another disappointing loss for the Toffees. I will go 3-0 for Liverpool, and again it will be goals from Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz, and then a third from Anthony Robertson. We'll get him across the line in a very good derby day. Andrew, yes, Andrew Robinson, not the Fulham American man.
Not Anthony Robinson, Andrew Robinson.
Not even Robinson. Andrew Robertson, not Anthony Robinson.
confused there for a moment. But yeah, I will say Everton 0, Liverpool 5. And Mohamed Salah hat-trick, because he loves a goal against Everton. I will say a Darwin Núñez goal. And I think Trent will return because Bradley's out injured. So I'll go Trent Alexander-Arnold to score in his return.
Makes sense.
Up next, the final game on the Wednesday night. And it is two Goliaths meeting in the Premier League. Manchester United welcome the prestigious Sheffield United to Old Trafford. I mean, this is the only team in the Premier League who come to Old Trafford and don't think it's a shithole. So, should be a good one. United get to show off their stadium. They'll be hoping to claim 3 points in their pursuit of European football. Sheffield United, we're hoping to claim points whilst at bottom of the league. Now, United have been very messy this season, but are they bad enough to lower to Sheffield United's level? What do you think, Harry?
Could be probably one of the worst games of the season, really. Really not be nothing special. And I'm going to go for a Jayden Bogle show. Manchester United 1, Sheffield United 1. Bogle will score for Sheffield United, give them a 1-0 lead, and then in true Man United fashion, with 10 minutes to go, Bogle will turn it in his own net and make it 1-1.
Brilliant. I can't wait to see what the Sun come up with as a headline for that one. Should be good. But yeah, I hate that prediction. I'm going to go Manchester United 1, Sheffield United 0. This gives me the Fulham earlier in the season vibes where they would they just crap for 87 minutes, then Bruno just scores and they win. That's my prediction. It's just going to be crap. And then Bruno's going to score and United are going to win. There we go. Easy. On to the Thursday, where we might see a lot better football played because Brighton host Manchester City. The first time I mentioned Man City in this game week because obviously they face Chelsea in the FA Cup on Saturday. Now, obviously they will be distraught after losing 8-0 in that game, so they may be a little bit knocked off their confidence. And if they were knocked out of the Champions League as well to Real Madrid, that's 2 tough losses on the bounce. So, Harry, will they be knocked by that, or will City keep the steam train going?
I think it's going to be a cracking game of football. But I do think Man City will still win it. Brighton 2, Manchester City 3. A really good game on Thursday night. And that's right, because it's the only game on the night. It's going to be a good one. City will take a 2-goal advantage through Erling Haaland and Phil Foden. Brighton will then score 3 on the bounce. No, I said 3. They'll score 2 on the bounce to level the game. Coming courtesy of... Oh my God, who's fit for Adingra? I'm trying to work out who's fit for Brighton and Billy Gilmore.
No,
he's not.
Long-term injury.
Yes, good point.
long injury.
Let's go. Lewis Dunk. He's got to be fit.
Should be, probably.
He's never injured. You can kick his man metal, that man.
Yeah, unless he's off for Southgate doing something, I think he will be there for Brighton.
So that'll be 2-2, and then it'll be a City winner from Kevin De Bruyne, a free kick, 5 minutes to go. All the Arsenal and Liverpool fans and neutral just sat there, come on Brighton, hold on. Then De Bruyne just steps up from 25 yards and goes, that was easy.
Fair enough. I will say Brighton 0, Manchester City 4. I think City are just rolling teams over at the moment like it's nobody's business, and they'll keep that trend going here. It'll be goals from Erling Braut Haaland.
Yeah.
It'll be a goal from Rodri, a goal from Josko Gvardiol, and a goal from Jeremy Doku. And there'll be a 4-0 win for Man City, and they crush the Seagulls with a hammer.
Wow.
Sad times for the Seagulls getting hammered.
Horrible.
But yeah, very exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to next week. As always, join us live. We are live this Saturday for the FA Cup tie between Manchester City and Chelsea. Should be a good one. Headed to Wembley.
Yeah.
Should be good. And then on Tuesday night, Arsenal versus Chelsea. So a double header for any of you Chelsea fans that want to tune in. But yeah, very excited. We're getting to the business end of the season now. This is where it starts to get very, very tasty.
Yes.
That's everything from us this week. If you want to keep watching our content, there's a video on screen here where we talk all things Premier League title race. We decide whether Man City are already champions. We talk about whether Arsenal or Liverpool can catch up. We'll talk about how they lost their games against Aston Villa and Crystal Palace last week. So if you want a little bit more tactical insight, that sort of stuff, that's the video for you. But that's everything from us today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.